Right, welcome back. Okay, now this is the 120th session in the garage on this bike build. So it's video, whatever it is underneath, but it's 120th time working on this for the day, and that's absolutely amazing. I can't believe it's been so long. I had the Bandit for 4 years, and I did roughly 120 videos on that in the course of 4 years, doing different things as I went along. But this has been a permanent single off-the-road build ever since, and it's been squeezed into 2 years. It's been a lot of work on this so far, but it really is starting to feel like it's coming together. Now today, without further ado, we're going to weld all that stuff together. I've got the frame at the front, which holds it all to the bike. Then we've got the battery box in the middle. That's got to have some trimming and some dressing work done. I'm going to trim it around a little bit. And then the big plate at the back that holds everything, the ECU, the fuse box, relay, start solenoid, the whole lot. That's all got to be welded together into one piece so it's functional, and then I can move on from that and move on to the more decorative stuff. So there we are. That's a lot of chat. You want to see some action. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Welcome back. Here we are, finally in one piece. And now it's ready to put some sort of coating over it to protect it. But in the finest tradition of all fabrication, I dry fit first. Then slap it on the bike, see what it looks like. Click. Right, there we go. Jobs are good and very happy with that. Now I can, with these notches out the way here, I can connect the battery up. It down. There's a little bit of room. The battery moves around in its crate because I'm going to put a rubber lining inside it, but there we are. That's one a day. That will come up the inside and fit on there and so on. So battery connects. In fact, all of the wiring on this inner tailpiece all fits. The original factory harness reaches everything in a completely relaxed way. Everything just goes there. It just fits. It's just where it needs to be. Even where there was a curve to a piece of harness and a plug on the end, it fits that way and it curves that way. I haven't had to bend it another way or twist anything another way. There are some areas that touch this metal work and they'll be bound with some conduit so they don't chafe or anything dangerous. And as far as the rest of it's concerned, there's just this little bit on the end here. Everything else is plugged in and ready to go. There's a couple of little earths that I've just got to connect, little earth tabs. They'll just go through a screw, drill a hole, screw, nut bolt, job done. And as I said, there's those little bits there. That's just the backlights and indicators, piece of cake. That'll go into the tail and connect to whatever's at the back end to make it all work. Apart from that, that is done. Not a brilliantly creative video this and the last 3 or 4, but creating this was very important, getting it really compact. And I want to show you something that was the intention at the beginning and I've managed to thankfully pull off, which is the size of it. And I'll let show you how small this actually is, because the tail unit actually doesn't need to come any further than there. That is it. This is still way too short to actually look any good, but let me show you this. Remember this, hammered this out as a seat to go on the other tail unit. Well, look at that. You consider that the tank bolts on there, so there's the back of the tank. If you put it up against there, that's about it. There. So at the moment, the guts inside my tail unit are no longer than my ass, because that's where I'm going to sit. I may use this. I quite like that. It took a long time to make it. It was my first effort at shaping sheet metal into a sort of interesting shape, so I may well use that in some way or another. But that's where it is. That's the seat. And now bringing the tail unit up, as you can see, it doesn't have to come any further. There's the back of the wheel. There's the top of the wheel, sorry. There's the top of the wheel, so I've got another 10 inches further back for a nice little piece of tail, and it will still look super, super short, which is absolutely awesome and just what I intended. So there we are. I'm not going to waffle on about this. I'm very happy with that. It is a bit ugly. It's 2.5 kilos, incidentally. All of that metal, everything weighs 2.5 kilos, and I'm chuffed to bits with that because that battery has saved me 3.5 kilos. So all of this is still under the factory weight by 1 kilo. So chuffed to bits with that. I'll update the board in the future once it's all finished and I've got that to consider and any other metal work I put on it. So the rear tail, going to use that French tunnel light, all of that's metal, so we'll see where we are when it's all made. But it is great. I'm very happy. It's small enough, it's dinky, it's exactly as I wanted it to be. It's one solid piece. There's no frame to it. It's constructed from its constituent parts rather than a frame upon which you hang those parts. That's just surplus to me. I've made the parts out of steel and just welded them to each other, and that seems to me a common sense way to do it. It certainly works for this bike in this application. Probably isn't the right way to do it, but there you go. And I'm happy with it. Everything's mounted properly, everything's working, and from this point on I can now start getting creative. So there we are. Thank you for all your amazing comments. I appreciate the support. It's driving me forward. This has been a little bit of an ugly bit, so I can promise you to come after this. It's going to get a lot more interesting as I actually create this tail and make it look like something very cool to actually sit on and ride the bike. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. See you next time.